Here we are again, boys and girls. We are on a run for 3 interviews back to back to back today. And again, I've said this before, but I've had to. Whoa, I think I might smoke for this one. I don't know why, but I think I'm gonna fire a cigarette because this one could be a kooky ride for all of us, and I can't wait because I've been waiting to talk to this guy for a long time. And let me stop rambling. Let me get this thing off the fucking road. Hey, before we do though, I can't see your pretty face. You're either too close or, yeah. Wait, well, hey, whoa, hey, that's beautiful. This is Sir in the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest. And I'm gonna say the freak show, Sean Leader. I might be wrong on that because I think he's something different right now. If you can't tell, so I'm gonna just say Sean Leader. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us, the guest song. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Well, I would say the same, but I see your lips and your nose. I don't see your beautiful face, sir. Yeah, there you go.
Like zoomed in on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay. There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah. Now, whoa. Ooh, now we're talking. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Hey, thank you for your time. I know it's a weird time right now. I want to start off by everything okay? You, the fam, everybody around you, everything okay?
yeah, everything's cool so far.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't bad.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Looking very Sean Leaderish today. Look at that beautiful smile, man. I love seeing Sean Leader at the shows. Uh, Sometimes you're a bad guy. Sometimes you're a good guy. I don't know what to make of it sometimes. And I'm going to start right there because we talk a lot about character, evolution of character, or the evolution of wrestling. So I'm going to start right there because sometimes I see you, you're a good guy or a face. Sometimes I see you, you're a bad guy or a heel. The switcheroo back and forth, or depending on where you go. Do you find that something difficult as a wrestler to kind of manage to go back and forth like that?
Actually, for myself, no, because I I kind of have this like method to my madness, I guess, where if I'm always my character. I'm always gonna be my character. But if I'm working face, you'll see me mess with the guy that I'm in the ring with. If I'm working heel, you'll see me mess with the crowd more.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Now,
So I'm always kind of like a jester or a trickster in some way, but it's whether I'm gonna fuck with the guy in front of me or if I'm gonna fuck with everybody else, because I'm Sean Leader and I don't give a fuck.
we know that about you. Now we talk about the relationship, that dance that's done between the fans and the
Mm.
wrestlers and the fans. That thing's a fun dance that we do, and I really, it intrigues me, and that's why I like to talk to you, men and women, about that because the difficulty factor on getting to us engage with you and your character isn't always the easiest thing. It takes a little bit of a development as you create your character and get your skill set as
Yeah,
a wrestler and get your experience. Was
it
it
took.
easy for you? Was it natural? How was it for Sean Leader to hear us and kind of engage with us and use it with your character?
Uh, I mean, a lot of that stuff started just by being kind of quick witted with my friends
Okay.
and stuff. So working with the crowds kind of it's a lot of the same in that respect. In terms of like character and evolving my character and whatnot, that took a while. That took a lot of fine tuning. That took a lot of effort and energy and time that I put into it. Um, oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's okay.
I actually I gotta I gotta thank Vinny Marseglia because he gave me probably some of the best advice about character work that I could have ever needed because I took it and fucking ran with it.
Okay.
I'll never forget like some of the things that he told me, but I don't know if I want to kind of let that out. My secret. No.
So is there one thing without, giving away totally behind the curtain? Is there something that really sticks out that you were like, you know what? That makes sense. I'm going to use it to my character and maybe to my advantage and see how it works.
That's I like to do that a lot with everything that I'm doing. If I see something that I really like or something that I find intriguing to the eye, I'll try to take whatever that is and make it my own in some way because I feel like that's how wrestling evolves by finding what you think your character, what you should be doing, and then evolving it to make it fit what you can do and what you're good at.
Now, your ring prowess, I see you do some really cool shit in that ring. You're not scared to experiment. You do some cool rope stuff. You do the whole jaw jacking thing.
Yep.
You have a look about you that has changed since I've seen you from when I first saw you. We'll definitely dive into that because we love the evolution of character. I think it's amazing. Now, I first started seeing you, and let me think back a little bit because I'm not that bright. I want to go back to like the XWA Center on the Thursday night throwdowns, if I'm not mistaken. You were doing some single stuff, and I think I caught you right at the cusp of you really starting out your career. Am I correct on saying that, or am I wrong on saying that? Because that was some years back.
I've been around for a really long time, but when I started really taking things seriously, that's around the time I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
When I started really going in on everything, going to the gym regularly and stuff like that, paying attention, studying tape, training. That's when I was like really getting back into the groove, I guess, because
Okay.
I had for a couple of years and I came back and I was just like, I knew I wanted to wrestle. I wasn't sure to what extent. And once I got to XWA and started training there and shit like that, it really became apparent that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get better.
XWA, I talk about that XWA Center, the Kingdom Training School. It's just amazing out in that area.
But when I
What's that?
did, I didn't train there a whole lot, but when I did, I paid attention and I got everything I could out of it.
But that's what it takes. So you go, you train a little here, you might train a little down the road here or there, and it all kind of adds up to this cool package that really brings yourself as a wrestler and how to utilize. Like you're saying, Vinny gave you some solid advice about character-wise, being able to bring your character to life. Now, you're a little, off left center, if you will. Your your characters. I've seen these transitions from
Yeah.
this to that to that to this, and I'd like to kind of go through that a little bit.
Okay. I never stopped talking shit throughout that whole thing.
No, but that's a great thing about yourself because you know what? Sometimes you don't wear the flashy shit. Sometimes, you try to mix it up and you try to stand out, and I get that. But your mouth, your ring presence, what you do when you come out on your entrances, that's all part of that whole thing, man. And it's not an easy thing to do. Now, I want to use the XWA Center as an example because of their entrance. They got the nice little stage. They got the commentator section all over there. They have, the little poofy things, and you've got the fence, and the whole ambiance is pretty cool there. Now, when you're coming out in an entrance and your music hits, is there a switch that has to be turned on to get out through that curtain, or is it just like any other day? I'm Sean Leiter. There's really no change from character to Sean Leiter in the wrestling ring.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a lot of. See, someone called me. This is gonna be weird. Okay, so somebody said I was intimidating once, and I think it's hilarious because I don't outside of wrestling, I don't really think I'm very intimidating at all. I'm just like every other nerd, but I can definitely see why, because if it feels like or it seems like I don't give a fuck about something, it's probably because I don't give a fuck.
And the fans react to that stuff, and you feed off of that very well and utilize it,
I think that people can really kind of vibe with that.
Yeah.
I like connecting to the crowd in some way.
Yeah, because it's like, you have a style about you, but you're still like, just like a regular guy maybe in a punk scene or, some kind of a rock scene of some sort because of your look that you portray at times. And it just relates. And we can just, fuck everything else with you too. So we kind of jump on board with that.
Hell yeah. Somebody called me maniacal once, and I never stopped thinking about it.
Is that where all like the facial expressions and the whole like, that kind of thing?
uh, I get, yeah, kind of for the most part. I was I don't even know how to word that. Nobody's ever really asked me about it.
Well, it's part of your character because in most of your promo stuff, even when you're at an event and people are taking pictures of you, you're like,
boom. Yeah, because I'm blow your mind if you see me in the ring.
there we go. Look how easy that was, right?
I like doing fun stuff. I like doing stuff that stands out.
That's wrestling.
I like intriguing other people to watch more, because in the end, it's all about the fans and what they want to see. And if they want to see more of me, then I gotta give them that.
And again, we feed off of those little things, those little nuances that bring your whole character together, whether you're inside the ring or if you're outside during an intermission or what have you. Sean don't really turn that off, boys and girls. It kind of stays right along the whole ride throughout the show, and I
forget I'm a pretty cool guy. I'll talk to you about anything. Don't fuck with me though. I got kind of a nut.
I'm from Connecticut, and you're from the Rhode Island, the whole Rhode Island scene out there, and I've seen you at the Chop Shop quite a bit over in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Dude, that place is just as fun as any other places I've ever been, and probably even just a smidge more fun because that whole setup is really cool in there. It's very unique, intimate, if you will, and it's just got a really cool vibe in there. And I see you perform there a lot. It's almost like an underground feel.
Yeah, we on that same vibe. See?
Now, I see a lot of the men and women that I've associated with and that you have been in the ring with. I've talked to the Suplex Sweetheart, Isana. I've talked to so many different Bobby Rossi. I love Bobby Rossi. Oh my God.
He's such a cool dude.
I love Bobby Rossi so much. But my point being is, you guys got so many cool people out in that area. And Rhode Island wrestling is just a smidge different than anywhere else because of it's a little more, and I hate to use the word gimmicky, but like more character, if you will, driven. The wrestling, is top notch and all of that, but it's a little more character driven. I love characters and storylines. You seem to be a very
more characters.
Yeah, you seem to be very character driven. Now,
I'm a huge fan of like early 90s WWF stuff, and that's when you'd see guys like fucking Nails, Doink, the Big Boss Man. I mean, even like the late 80s where you see like Akeem the African Dream. The Twin Towers. Like, do you remember that? That was amazing. I love gimmicks. I think there's some of the funnest parts of wrestling. Jerry the King Lawler. Like, I can't express how much characters make wrestling that much more fun.
And it adds to so much of the presentation of said event or said wrestler because you have a character that, again, some people can relate to. Some people, it freaks them out. That's why you were called the Freak Show. And I know I introduced you at the beginning as the Freak Show. Talk to us about the Freak Show. You got the gas mask thing and you've got some bright colors and stuff that you wear. Talk to us about that character.
Actually, the moniker The Freak Show actually started off as like a joke, kind of. So it, not too many people really know this, but I have alopecia. So that, like, when you stress or worry too much, it attacks the nerves in your hairline and it causes your hair to fall out in random patches. So when I first moved back here, And well, actually, when I first started getting into wrestling around here, uh, this was probably like 12 years ago now. Somebody called me Freak Show because they didn't know what to make of the spots on my head at the time. This was before the mohawk, even before I grew out my hair or anything like that. It was just kind of awkward, and I understood. But I, just like anything that I've experienced in life, I've kind of just adapted to whatever comes my way. I just
Hmm.
take things at face value and see what I can do with it. Um, so fuck, where's it going? Oh, I'm losing
That's
it.
okay. We were
No.
talking the character of the Freak Show with the gas mask and the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so basically what happened was they called me the Freak Show as like them trying to like razz me, and I called myself the Freak Show so that eventually nobody had any excuse to call me a Freak Show, you know? Because I
Yeah.
was the Freak Show instead of a Freak Show.
Hmm.
And I think that's part of wrestling. If you can take your situations and adapt to them, that's what separates you from being a good wrestler
Hmm.
or just being a guy that on camera.
And it's
'Cause there's a
easy to
lot
get
of
lost in. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle of wrestling. It's very easy.
yeah. So it's that's why I love characters so much because it helps you stand out. It helps you tell the stories that you couldn't normally tell if you were just Joe Schmo with a decent drop kick, you know?
Yeah. Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if that
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
got if I had a set of abs and a better drop kick, I'm pretty sure I'd be everywhere right now, but I don't give a fuck because I'm Sean Leader. Yeah,
Now,
I'll make my way.
hey, sometimes it's a different. Sometimes everybody has a different journey, Sean.
Shooting
So you
me up.
just you just got to take that journey and see where it leads. Uh, now in wrestling entrances, people like to do reveals of their face and stuff. Is that where the gas mask part fits into, like to doing a reveal of like a that kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, like actually I used to do this thing where I'd wear whatever mask I was wearing at the time, I take it off and I go boo because it's like it's I don't know, it's baby tail frolics to me. Playing with a mask. It reminds me of the scene in the Crow. It's like a flashback, and it shows him playing with the theatrical mask with his
Mhm.
wife, and he's just kind of being a nerd, you know. I think it's very playful. It's fun.
I hear a lot of references of how the men and women take from different things of pop culture to utilize and put in their character. You just kind of described the Crow. You took a piece of that and utilized it. I
Yeah,
love that, dude. That is
I
such
do
a
that.
great story.
I do that a lot. There was actually one instance where I do this thing where if you're on the ground, I might kick you like a piece of shit. I don't know how else to describe it because it's not a stomp. It's more like a fucking side kick to the lower back or like the chest or something like that. And I kind of dance around you when I do it. And I pulled that from A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's a wild ass movie, but there's a lot of little things like that I just pull from everywhere. And
Hmm.
like you said with the old character development stuff, this was some of the stuff that I was talking about. Pull things from literally everywhere because if it's entertaining to you, chances are it's probably entertaining to somebody else too.
Absolutely, because then it relates again. It relates to the fans, like right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can register that energy that
Hmm.
I progress when I come out to the ring and stuff. And I like to think I'm pretty good at getting the crowd to kind of stay with me
Hmm.
the entire ride. And sometimes I fall off, and that usually comes down to a lot of like my own issues and things I got to work on in terms of wrestling and telling storytelling,
Hmm.
which is
Now,
fine. I study a lot of my own matches a lot. So that's like one of the ways I do it. It's like one of the ways I study tape to get better at wrestling by watching my own stuff and picking it apart like I'm an asshole, you know?
Now, when you're watching this stuff, what are you exactly looking for? Are you just watching everything that's going on? Are you looking for something that you remember in said match and you're like, man, I got to look back at that? Or are you looking at the entire thing and breaking it all down and being like, Sean, what the fuck was that? What's going on here? I got to change that a little bit. Are you looking at it in its entirety?
I look at everything from the moment I burst through the curtain to the moment I leave. And if I don't like something, I'll change it, or I'll do something to better it, or I'll focus hours of time just to try and find a new way to do things if I
Mm-hmm.
don't like the way it looks when I did it the first time. Um, I had something for this too. I'm watching it as myself first. I want to enjoy the match that I feel good about
Mm-hmm.
after I'm done with it. I want to see what worked, what didn't. I want to see the little things that make the bigger things mean that much more.
Yeah.
Um, I'm basically looking at it like myself. I'm looking at it like a wrestler. I'm looking at it like a fan, and I'm also looking at it like I'm my own fucking trainer.
Because yeah, because you're your own worst critic, and you'd probably be the best person to kind of pick that out. But
Yeah,
do you also get that little advice on the side from, maybe somebody, either your peers that are in the same kind of,
yeah,
wavelength, or even in a more experienced guy where it's like, hey, you should try that? Or do you take criticism as such and kind of maybe think about that?
yeah. I like criticism actually. So if anybody ever has anything, I always take something into consideration when they tell me it, and I try to make it in my own way so
Mm-hmm.
it fits for everybody. Because I like to accommodate for people if they think something needs to look a different way. I don't mind changing it up. Um, yeah, I try to do something new every single match. Even if I'm still doing some of the same stuff, I'll find new ways to do it all. I don't really mind switching up anything for somebody else to accommodate. Um, and I don't mind the criticism. I actually enjoy it. I welcome it because I like hearing how somebody else would do something because
Mm-hmm.
even that could get the gears turning and spark some kind of creativity just by telling me, you know, and then I'll
Right.
maybe think of something else to do in my next match,
Mm-hmm.
or a different way to do this, or a clever way to do that based on what somebody was talking about. So shit. If you want to talk wrestling, we can talk wrestling.
That's a great tool to have, though. That wanting the critique, that wanting the feedback, and all of that stuff, and utilizing, this up here. And
Yeah.
and I know we all have our days and shit, but this up here is such a big package of being a wrestler, my man.
Yeah. I think it's important because if it doesn't make sense, then why are you doing it?
Hmm.
You know, so you have to really think about everything that you're doing. And if it makes sense to you at the time, go for it. If it doesn't, try to switch it up, you know? So like anything
Now,
in life, really, if it's working, go with it. If it's not, find a way to make it better.
hmm
I think
now I'd
anybody
like to.
can relate to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I think anybody can relate to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In life in general too.
Oh yeah.
Um, I want to talk about one specific match because this for you, if I'm not mistaken, was probably either the or one of the biggest matches of your entire career to date. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I effed this up when I was talking to Mr. Nick Kacheri, and I thought it was at WTF, but he reminded me it was at
Yeah.
Outside the Box.
Yep.
Yourself and Ophidian out of Chakar. Look at that smile. Dude, I've been waiting to talk to
I
you
saw it
just to
go.
hear about that match because you were so fucking excited leading up to that match. Take us, the fans, on a
Uh-huh.
little journey because I'm really curious on how that day went for you specifically. Yeah, please have a smoke. Yes, go for it.
All right. Okay, so I guess the best way to start this story would be at Proving Ground. I want to say 2 weeks before that. What happened at Proving Ground was we had this ladder match, and in the ladder match, there's a moment where Shay goes to whip me into the corner with the ladder sticking out, so I've run my head into it, but instead I slide under. And I come back. Sorry, I got like a message or something.
That's okay. Me too. At the same time.
So I slid under, and I went to come back on him, and I went to jump up with the enziguri, and I landed on my shoulder. And that was like somewhere in the beginning of the match. I don't even know what I did entirely because I never actually went to the hospital or anything. But I couldn't lift my arm past like shoulder length. I definitely fucked something up. And that was just because like I tried to focus too hard on my kick and my placement that I forgot to focus on my landing because I wanted it to look really well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I fucked my shoulder up in that match, and I even went on to get like thrown off onto the ladder and all this other stuff. Excuse me.
That's okay.
And that match was brutal. I even took a destroyer on a bum shoulder. But so after that match, I was fine except for my shoulder. And then I knew that I had the match with Ophidian coming up, and I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to, or that I wasn't going to be able to work up to par because I couldn't move my shoulder. So I went home, and for the next 2 weeks, I just rehabbed the shit out of my arm. And by the time the match came, it was like I could lift it, but it still felt tight. It still hurt. But I was going to suffer it. I didn't care. There was no way. I waited about 10 years for that match because I wanted to work Ophidian when I started wrestling.
How nervous are you at this point when you lift your arm? You can lift it, but you're still feeling some kind of funkiness going on.
Oh, I'm shitting my pants at this point. And yeah, I'm sweating. I'm worried. I'm nervous. I got so nervous that when I met him and he asked me what I'd do, I had no idea.
Holy shit.
I couldn't remember a single thing I did. I stopped. I asked my friend, I said, yo, what's my shine?
Oh my God.
Because I had no idea. I was so nervous about my shoulder and doing a terrible job that I forgot everything. So what we did was we worked the shoulder. Yeah. Right? It makes sense. So yeah, so I knew I could work to a certain extent. I wasn't sure how much. And he's actually a really snug guy too. But he's a blast to work with. Not snug in the sense of like it's harmful. I never felt like he was hurting me in any way. He definitely took care of me, and he took care of my shoulder. Mm-hmm. But it was like it was just enough, you know. It was just enough to look great and not hurt
right.
a whole lot because my shoulder was messed up. I think it even started like getting sore towards the end of the match.
Now, are you calling stuff before the match, or are you calling it on the fly? Very interested in that stuff.
A little both. I always try to do a little both. We figure out some stuff, and we kind of go in there. We got room to play. We make ourselves the room. It makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot more fluid, organic, which I like. I like feeling like we can just kind of go. I like chaining and stuff, so I don't really mind a lot of that. You throw me in a hold, I can probably find a way out of it.
Hmm.
Uh,
How long was the match?
Match itself, I think it was about 12 minutes, 13 minutes, something like that.
Really? So working Ophidian for about 15,
I think so.
utilizing the
I don't remember.
utilizing the story of the shoulder. You're a
Mhm.
brave man, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody, a lot of people tell me I got balls. I think it's kind of funny. I just kind of do what I can. I don't know.
So, uh, after the match is done, this
Yeah.
is somebody you've wanted to work for a very long time. This is probably your most excited match, I would have to say. Just watching you from the face page, not even seeing you in person because I've never seen you up to this point. Just watching your Facebook, I'm like,
Yeah.
this dude's shitting himself right now.
Yeah.
Uh, could I say that's probably your biggest match to date?
Yeah. Yeah, that or AG. They were both pretty big.
AG, great name, great guy. Very knowledgeable and willing to pass that knowledge on anytime, anywhere. Great guy. Love AG.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Ophidian is probably my biggest match so far. And that was exciting. That was so exciting because I was so nervous. He gave me so many tools. He gave me so many fun, fun little things that I've created so much more memories with. And it's like I really learned a lot just from that one encounter with him. I met him once back in like 2008, 2009, I think, for like a moment when he was doing the Osirian portal. And I loved his style so much that I watched everything. Everything he did, I was watching it. And to have that match was probably one of the coolest moments of my life.
After the match is done, how are you feeling personally because of your injury walking into this? Right when it's done, you're walking away, and I know you have these thoughts that run through your mind. You're
Mm.
already kind of probably breaking it down a little bit. How are you feeling when you're walking away from that match to the back of the into the locker room?
I felt validated. I felt very, very validated. Uh, but it was from that moment on, I felt like anybody could say anything they want about me. You can't take that match away from me because we put it the fuck down, and
Hmm.
it was fun, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
How many times have you watched that match?
I lost count. I watched it like I still watch it. I watch the highlights like maybe once a day, probably, just to watch them.
What was the date of that match?
Shit, what's today's date?
We are at April 20 something, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck we are.
Oh,
April 22.
I could actually find out for you.
Because that question has got my curiosity going because you're watching probably highlights daily on this thing. You've probably seen it maybe 1.3 trillion times up to this point. And I'm
Yeah.
kind of curious on how long it's been and you're still watching it because it still gets you that excited.
Oh yeah, it gets me really excited. Let's see. It was on March 24th, 2019.
Wow. A year ago.
Yeah.
Now, you've talked about, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just realizing that was a year ago. It feels like it was yesterday still.
No, you said that you learned so much just from that match, and you've
Yeah.
kind of thrown some stuff in your future matches. Now
Yeah.
that you look back on it, it's been a year long. What have you kind of adapted into what you took from that match? Maybe just mention one or two things that you've kind of sprinkled into what you've learned from him and thrown into your application.
I threw a little more athleticism into my stuff. I put a little more effort into some of my combos and evasiveness. Uh, let's see, match structure was one really big thing. Finding new ways to get a crowd to react over different situations rather than different moves. Yeah, I don't. I could go on.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude, really? Look
yeah.
at you smile. That's what I love about wrestling. We're talking about one match in your career and you haven't stopped smiling since we've been talking about it. That's the shit I love, man.
That was a fun time. I was so anxiety ridden that whole time.
But that now that we talk about it, you've looked back on it and even over the course of the past year, obviously, you're still thinking about it like, fuck yeah, man, that was awesome.
I did that. That was cool. You know, I
Now
love
I want to go back because he comes from Chikara. There's not
that.
a lot of guys that come from Chikara to the chop shop. I mean, between outside the box, WTF, they were
Mm.
bringing in a lot of different names that aren't originally in coming out of the chop shop, like a lot of the names that we were talking earlier, the
Yep.
locals, if you will. Um, you have to be a huge fan of Chikara as a company. Hey, what's up, Kitty? You, you have to be a huge fan of Chikara to have
Mm.
Ophidian come up and be that. Like, that's my holy fuck
Yeah.
moment.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
been down to Chikara, done a try run or any of that cool shit?
No, unfortunately not because I don't have a car of my own, but I have gone to Nepwa for a Mike Quackenbush seminar, which was really cool too. I actually ended up buying Quackenbush's book because he's another guy that I've followed like my entire wrestling career.
Talk about the innovation of moves. That guy, holy shit.
That's where I get a lot of it from. Yeah, genius. Love
Wait,
it.
are we going to see a Quacken driver from fucking Sean Leader?
I don't know about that. You might see me take one.
Whoa.
People like to throw me around.
Now, we've been talking a lot about your singles career. I want to talk about a tag team thing that, again, I've seen you from kind of way back, from when I jumped in, maybe 2016 ish. You've been in a tag team called The Epidemic with
Mhm.
Tom Billington. How did you guys get together? And I am so curious on the name. What's up with that name of The Epidemic?
Sure, I'm not even sure how it started. All right. When I met Tom, this was like right before I started wrestling with Tom. So yeah, yeah, this is like right before I started wrestling altogether with RWA and any of that stuff. I was working at Walmart and I was just a cashier at the time, and Tom had come through my line, and I had known him from public access like years prior, and he was buying a movie called WrestleManiac with Rey Mysterio. It was a horror movie, and I'm pretty sure it was terrible.
Probably.
Pretty sure he watched it and told me it was terrible. uh, so he gave me a card that day for RWA, and eventually I'd gone there and I'd realized it was the same place that he'd give me the card for, and we teamed once. We didn't even do anything. We teamed once against Club Justice. It was that was a fun match, and we didn't really do a whole lot after that for a while, and then we were doing a group. I think we called the group the Cult or something like that. And me and Tom were going to be the team. And Bobby Rossi had actually given us the name The Epidemic.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually completely forgot all about that until now. um,
Did he see something? Why
we
you
were
think?
a team.
Now, did
Sorry.
he see something? No, I'm sorry. Did he see something specific why you guys should be maybe called the epidemic?
I don't remember. This is this is so long ago.
How long are we talking?
2010, probably like 10 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a long time ago. So I'm really trying to remember.
No, that's all right because my mind's worse shit too. Don't sweat it, bro. Really.
I'm usually really good at this stuff. Um, yeah, I don't even really remember what we were talking about at the time. I just remember Rossi saying we were like, I think I was trying to come up with names that was like the infected or something. I had this big Resident Evil thing about me that I loved. I came out from Raccoon City. I had the Raccoon City, the Umbrella Corporation thing on the side. I was really going for like a Resident Evil kind of thing, and we were going off of that vibe. And he said, "Why don't you call yourself the Epidemic?" And I asked Tom if he liked it, and it all just kind of stuck.
That's cool.
It's we've had some really fun moments. I still haven't seen anybody do our finisher at all. I've seen one variant that's close.
All right. Uh, to the fans, maybe not all the fans know what your finisher is. Describe it. What's the name of it? What do you guys do as a move?
Oh, we actually recently changed the name. It was called Scarlet Fever, but now we call it the coronavirus. And
No, you don't.
yeah, yeah, he hits a lung blower, and I hit a double knees off the second.
Ooh,
Yeah.
damn.
Only
Wow.
ever seen one other team do anything like that, and that's the Gymnasty Boys. And they do the lung blower, and then the other one does the moonsault,
Ooh,
which
okay.
actually looks really cool. And I'm mad
I
about it, but
yeah.
I don't care because it looks that cool.
So you guys are you've now you said you've renamed it to the coronavirus. You're very active still, a tag team then, right?
Yeah, here and there. Once in a while, people are like, "Hey, we want the epidemic for this," and we're like, "All right." Some people want the Dick Busters. Some people want the epidemic. Some
Hmm.
people don't want either, and they want us to beat each other up. So we do that too.
The one-on-one, Tom Billington and Sean Leader, really?
Yeah, technically, we're actually still in a Pinfalls Anywhere match for XWA. It's
Oh,
been
no
go
kidding.
Yeah, it's been going on. It has no time limit. We've been doing it since like last year sometime.
Really?
Yeah, like October maybe. I don't know. We're still fighting. We still beat the fuck out of each other.
That's awesome, dude. Oh my God. You guys got to be having fun with doing that storyline, no?
Yeah, I mean we haven't done much in a while, but it's something that crosses my mind from time to time.
Hmm.
I'd
Now,
like to cap that off at some point.
you mentioned the Dick Busters. Please talk to us, the fans. What is the Dick Busters? Who is comprised to make said Dick Busters?
That would be Dick Lane, which would describe the name Dick in Dick Buster. Dick Lane. We got Derek Simonetti, Tom Billington, obviously, and myself. We are the Dick Busters. And I got Slimer. Slimer's hanging in the back over there.
So, for the visual and the name, you guys all dress up like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, hold up, my phone's dying. I can get my wife. If I don't plug this in, we're gonna be about 5 minutes.
Not a problem, brother. Keep us connected. So the Dick Busters, you guys have all come together, the four of you. Why that team all come together like that?
Um, so I'm not even sure. I think that all started as like a joke too. Uh, because Dick Lane had a shirt, or he has a shirt still, sorry, that had it was like him in the Ghostbusters thing. It was just supposed to be like a parody, you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, no, it ended up turning into an entire gimmick and a group. that we comprise like an entire story for, which we do still have stories to tell. I got one thing that's coming that's gonna blow people away, and it's really gonna set the standard or the bar for a lot of people that are trying to stand out in wrestling right now. I I don't think anybody's gonna be able to top it.
As a singles or part of the Dickbusters?
It's kind of just a part of my character, but it all stems from the Dickbusters stuff and everything else that
Okay.
I'm doing too, because I'm trying to kind of mesh everything into one. I'm
Hmm.
trying to ball it all together into one, like, this is Sean Leader, this is what you're getting, kind
Now,
of. I,
on your face page, there's been
mm,
some weird shit. Not that there ever isn't some weird shit going on your page, but there's been some even weirder shit going on your page. I'm seeing all of this fucking alien talk, and that's why I questioned the freak show. Uh, what the hell's going on over there?
we the freak show might be kind of going out of town for a while.
Evolution of character. Is that what's happening right before our eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. This is uh this
I
is
can't
something I've
wait.
been going around in my head for years and
I
years,
can't
and
wait.
I'm just kind of putting it together now. I'm going with what I feel and what I feel like I want to be.
Well, one of your on your merch, it
Mm.
says follow the leader. So this was inevitable for you to do whatever transition you got going on. That whole follow the leader thing, I love that, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm really digging it. It's gonna all change to take me to your leader soon. 'Cause
Dude, I can't wait, man. I love
I'm
taking those
high
rides.
five kick. Uh there's I'm sure everybody has seen the contacts by now. I'm sure that's like part of what you were mentioning, the alien vibe and stuff like that. It's not always gonna be like that because those are really expensive, and I don't feel like paying $75 every time somebody kicks me in the face and I lose one. But but you're gonna see them a lot, and you're gonna see some really cool stuff. So I hope people dig it.
The
It's
contacts.
definitely unsettling to look at,
Hey, that's what we like. We want to see change, Mr. Leader. That
and that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, man, we love to see new shit. I mean, come on. No, I mean, I'm not saying people like change. I mean, look at where we're at now. We're fighting for fucking toilet paper and fucking squirt bottles of Purell. But I love seeing evolution. I love seeing evolution of character. I really dig that shit. So I can't wait till you take us on that ride.
Hell yeah. I I can't wait to abduct y'all and take you on that ride too. Everyone's getting fucking probed.
I haven't been probed in about 3 years. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
You wild. I love you, God.
Dude, ever since I've met you, again, you send off a weird signal sometimes, and if you don't understand why, you've got a freak show look about you.
Yeah.
So you do send off a little weird signal at first, but man, getting to know Sean Leader over the years has been amazing. And being able to do that promo that we did at the Chop Shop, that
Yep.
was special for me because I know you don't do a whole lot of stuff like that and this kind of stuff.
I'm
So I
trying to
really appreciate.
I'm trying to flip the script completely.
Yeah, man.
So more of that
Hmm.
all
I
day.
think I think we need to see more of Sean later because your personality is coming out and it's a little bit different than what I expected because I didn't know what I was gonna get from you.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knew because I'm kind of an introvert. I'm like really an introvert. I stay to myself for the most part. I'll give people like hints of like, hey, look at this cool thing. I'm Sean Leader. I'm still wrestling. Da 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 da. You know. But I realized recently that I have a lot of information and a lot of love to give to this business, and I just want to help people. I want
Hmm.
to help people all the time. So that's all I do.
Can I make? Can I just throw? I'm just gonna throw a small suggestion, okay?
Throw whatever you want at me.
Your fucking mind is so creative. I would love to see more promos from Sean Leader on a regular basis when we get back in the swing of shit, especially whatever the fuck you got going on upstairs on your evolution.
Okay.
Give us the fans and for yourself because you would love to look back on that later on in the days. Give us a little bit of more promos because you're very creative.
Okay. I can do that. I can definitely do that.
And hey, man, it's 2020. We love content. And I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh,
we're
well, it's
easy.
love content. I got some content coming.
Hey,
Trust.
don't show us all your content. We don't like to see below the belt content. Keep that to yourself.
Oh, that's for my premium Snapchat. Hashtag
uh,
sick bitch.
oh man, uh, man, I've seen you in some fucking cool ass matches from the XWA to the chop shop and such. Could you
Yeah.
talk to us about? Have you branched out beyond that? Where other promotions have you gone to and kind of spread your wings, if you will?
Not really a whole lot. I've been to UFO. Um, I've been to Maine. I've done Pro Wrestling Takeover out in Maine. That's always fun.
Yeah, that was a good
Uh,
time.
we did DPW. Um, that was out in Connecticut.
Yep.
Test the Strength was fun. I actually went back and did another Test of Strength show, and I gotta shout out Mike Skyros because that boy saved my life that night. I went to do a dive and I didn't realize that the ropes were a little higher than I'm used to.
Okay.
And oh yeah, and I was almost that Undertaker dive where he went straight down. Like I hit the ropes with my legs and he jumped in and he caught me and I still landed. I still made the landing, still made the dive. But that was a fun time. It was a really fun time because I wasn't going there to work. And I got on the show anyways because I brought my gear and
Hmm.
I was cordial with everyone. You know,
Hmm.
people are supposed to do when they go to a new locker room.
Now
And
you're talking. Was that on a training day at the dojo in East Hartford?
wait, oh, the training day? Yeah, that was me and Tom with Dick Lane against the congregation,
Hmm.
and that was a fun match. That was a really fun.
Congregation. Yeah, because the congregation, they are just such a fun bunch. They know what the hell they're doing in the ring. And I love me some Brother Greatness. Oh my God, I love Brother Greatness so much.
Yeah.
I mean, not taking any away from Mr. Weatherford.
They're so like polar opposite of the epidemic. That's why like when I heard about this and I looked them up, I was like, oh, so we're gonna have some fun, is
Mhm.
basically what they were telling me. And I did. I had a lot of fun. I think we could have done a lot better, but I think at the time I think it was really good. It was a fun, solid match.
Hey, it's not like when we get this thing all over with that you can't come back down our way, Mr. Leader.
Yeah.
Please come back down our way and have some fun because I love Test of Strength, man. I go to all of their shows. Now, I want
Okay.
to ask you a question about Test of Strength. Very small, intimate setting in there. You saying you're going through the ropes, kind of the foot got caught. Mr. Skyros gave a brother, as Mr. Brother Greatness would say, the healing hands. He gave you some healing hands coming out of those ropes. Uh, very intimate setting. Do you like those small intimate settings like that?
Um, yeah, I like those small intimate settings, but that match with Skyros was a big like tag gauntlet kind of thing, and that was actually somewhere else. That was in a VFW hall somewhere.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mix the two shows up at
Oh,
all.
no, good, you're good. No, that was a different spot. Although it's same basic concept anywhere if you're gonna do a dive, but the smaller settings as far as that goes, I like stuff like that. I
Mm.
think it's a little more personal. It's more for like the hardcore fans, I think.
Hmm.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a big crowd. The
Oh
the
yeah.
the crazier, the louder the crowd, the crazier you're gonna see me. I'm like a walking fucking mood ring.
That's gonna be the name of this episode. I'm like a walking effing mood ring. That's exactly what I'm naming this episode.
I like it. That's perfect.
Because I try to take a little something from each episode and name each episode differently, you know?
That's good. I used to do the same thing with my gaming. I used to put out gaming like episodes on YouTube. They were just like
Okay.
my best clips of the week or something like that. And I would just find something that had to do with the character I was using in that fighting game or whatever, and I would
Yeah.
just make that the title of the video. You know,
Yeah.
fun they said. So I
Yeah.
dig it with it.
It relates to the whole thing, you know? I just love wrestling, man. I mean, I know we're both missing it. Maybe some others than most, more. But at this point right now, you men and women that want to get in that ring have to absolutely just be screaming with like, "Oh my God, get me in that fucking ring!"
Oh yeah, I'm definitely ready to wrestle. That's for sure. Um, I don't mind the time off. It gives my back a little time to heal, but it's cool.
uh,
I can't wait. I think a lot of people when we get back though, they're gonna go hard, and I think what we all need to do is to not go hard, because if we do that, we're gonna overdo it, and we don't want to do that as soon as we get back in. Let's lube everybody up first before we jump into it. You know what I mean?
I've been saying that through the course of these Skype interviews. I
Yeah.
feel like it's just going to be such a flood, and everybody's going to want to do all of their coolest shit and make the crowd freak the fuck out and just go balls to the wall. With that
No.
being said, and I think you're in agreement here. With that said, when you go that hard and you want to make that shine so like big and huge,
Mm.
injuries come with that. I'm afraid that some of our friends might be trying to push the limits. I hope that doesn't happen because when you come out of the gates like that, man, your mind isn't really all there and you just want to go crazy. So I
Yeah.
hope everybody's safe is really my point when we get back out there.
That's basically where I'm at too. Like everybody's gonna want to go in and go hard because they didn't, because they haven't wrestled in a while and everybody's got that they got that tension built up, I guess. Uh I give it I my advice for when we come back to everybody really is to just give them little chunks of all the new stuff you're coming back with, because we're
Mhm.
all coming back with new stuff and you can trust that.
I think that's a great message. Do it. Do your new shit in little chunks. I love that.
Do it in chunks, because if you throw it all out at once, it's gonna get too saturated and everybody else's junk. You know,
I can feel that, man. I can
and
definitely
too
feel that.
much of it, everybody's gonna be running shows. So chill, you know. Let's all do our new stuff, but let's all do it in increments. If you give everybody WrestleMania, you're not gonna have anything the next night on Raw.
Yeah. Absolutely, I can definitely relate with that, man. That's sound advice for. I mean, I'm no person in the ring. As a fan and seeing it from a distance, I think that's sound advice.
Hell yeah, brother.
Sean, you have been a fucking gem today. I appreciate your time today, my man.
I am a diamond in the rough, I guess.
Woo! uh, Man, it's been a really cool time getting to learn about Sean Leader because, again, as a fan, and I don't go behind a curtain, I know my place. We don't get
Mm-mm.
to talk like this. And I really appreciate you opening up a little bit, talking your career. That Ophidian match, I've been waiting to ask you ever since it went down, man. I've been wanting to
Send
talk
me a
about
message. I'll talk to you all day.
that.
Oh yeah.
uh, Please, when you get out there, stay safe, do your chunks. And I personally, and this is a selfish right here, I cannot fucking wait until what we see coming out of
Mm.
Sean Leader in the future. I think our minds are going to be a little out of whack because he said it might not be for everybody. It could be hard to watch. I cannot wait to watch it.
You guys are gonna get a sneak peek in probably soon. Probably
Ooh,
soon.
how about you just whisper it to me? I won't tell anybody. Whisper it to me. What is it? What is it?
Boo.
Ah, son of a bitch! This is Stir in the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, the Freak Show, Sean Leiter. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Eat ass.